Hi, my name is Sandhya Ramesh. I am from Bengaluru and I am the science editor for ThePrint. So today I'm going to be talking about Cyclone Vayu that's currently traversing along the coast of Gujarat. So Cyclone Vayu formed on it was observed on June 9th by IMD, the meteorological department, and we noticed that it was moving north to northwest and it was going directly towards Gujarat. It was slated to make landfall on the southern coast of Gujarat, that curve, but it has seemed to have deflected a little bit and it's moving towards the northwest, sort of parallel to the coast of Gujarat. So it's not making landfall on Gujarat. But at the same time, it is indeed wreaking havoc on the coast. So there is going to be, there already is a lot of increased rainfall and increased winds, and low-lying areas are definitely not safe. The Gujarat government and also from Daman and Diu, there have been over 3 lakh people who have been evacuated in anticipation for Cyclone Vayu. I'll be taking some questions now. The first one is, who in IMD came up with the name Vayu? Well, so the cyclones that form in this region, and by this region I mean the North Indian Ocean region, which consists of countries just below India on either side. So the names here are decided by the countries that are affected by cyclones in this region. That would be India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Myanmar, Oman, and Thailand and Maldives, 8 countries. So these countries submit a list of names, and then names are picked from these and they are kept in order, in rotational order. So the previous one was Cyclone Fani. It's written funny, but it's pronounced Fani. It is the name was suggested by Bangladesh. And the next was an Indian name, so the next cyclone is called Vayu. And I believe the next one is a name that is suggested by Maldives. It's called Hika. That'll be the name of the next cyclone in our region. What's the difference between a hurricane, typhoon, tornado, and cyclone, and what is tropical? Well, so 3 of these things, hurricanes, typhoons and cyclones, are exactly the same thing. They're just called differently in different parts of the world. So for example, in the Atlantic Ocean and the Northeast Pacific, which is either side of the US basically, they are called hurricanes. And then in the Northwest Pacific, which is near China and Philippines, it's called typhoon. And then in the Southern Pacific and Indian Oceans, which is of course India, Australia, Africa, but also Yemen and Oman, it's called cyclones. They're all the same thing. Tornadoes are very different. Cyclones, hurricanes and typhoons, they occur over the ocean. They're formed in the middle of the ocean. But tornadoes are formed on land. They are some of the least well understood extreme weather phenomenon. They're extremely powerful. They also have cyclic winds, but when they blow over land, they're connected from top to bottom, from the bottom of the cloud layers to the land surface, and they're very short lived. They are not connected with typhoons or hurricanes or anything like that. What makes certain regions like Bay of Bengal more prone to tropical cyclones? Well, so Bay of Bengal, the mechanism of formation of cyclones in Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea are very different. In Bay of Bengal, what happens is there are 2 primary factors that contribute to the increased frequency of cyclones that occur over there. One is rivers like Ganga and Brahmaputra. So obviously they bring waters from the glacier. This is fresh water. So a large amount of fresh water is constantly dumped into the Bay of Bengal. Now what happens to this water is it tends to stay in the top layers of the surface and it's constantly heating up. Now when in the ocean, what happens is the top layers of the ocean waters are always hot because of the sun, and then the ocean keeps churning, so all of the layers mix with each other. But because the top layer is constantly replenished by these rivers and then evaporated because of the sun, the temperature mixing doesn't happen that regularly, and because it's so warm on the surface all the time, there is also warm air leading to warm currents. So the currents are very slow, and there's also increased moisture and humidity. All of these are extremely ideal conditions for hurricanes to take place. In the Atlantic Ocean, on the other hand, this particular cyclone that was formed because of a phenomenon that's called Madden-Julian Oscillation, MJO. What this is it's a system of disturbances, including clouds and winds and low pressure and water and all of that, and it propagates eastwards around the world. So it's an alternating system of excessive rainfall in one region followed by an immediate mildly dry spell. So this oscillation has been moving across the globe, and when it came towards the Arabian Sea, it sort of coincided with the onset of our monsoon, the southwest monsoon, and the increased moisture tended to intensify this storm, which otherwise would probably not have been this strong as it is right now. I forgot to answer the previous question, which asked what does tropical mean. So tropical storms are those that are formed in the tropical and subtropical regions, that is either between the two tropics, Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn, or between the tropics and the poles, that is subtropical regions. So all of the storms that are formed anywhere in the earth, on the earth pretty much, except for the polar regions, they are called tropical storms. What measures are taken by the government? Yeah, so there are shelters that people have been moved to. Everybody in low-lying areas have been evacuated because if you remember, this was slated to hit land. So that was the original predicted path of the cyclone. So a lot of people from low-lying areas have been evacuated for now. How does the nomenclature of cyclones work? Yes, like I explained, it's different countries give different names, and all of the names are cycled through. It's 8 of our countries that keep giving different names. Are cyclonic storms much more dangerous as compared to hurricanes? Well, it really depends on the intensity of the storm and what it's classified as. So in the North Indian Ocean, cyclones are classified into 6 different categories. So it starts off as depression, and then it goes on to deep depression, cyclonic storm, severe cyclonic storm, very severe cyclonic storm, which is what Vayu is right now, extremely severe cyclonic storm, and super cyclonic storm. So these are the 6 categories, and we've had a terrible super cyclonic storm, which was Storm Gonu, which affected Oman a couple of decades, 1 decade ago, I think in 2008, if I remember correctly, or 2007. That has been the most severe storm to ever occur in this region. Hurricanes, on the other hand, they're categorized from category 1 to 5, and category 1 itself is sort of as severe as our severe cyclonic storm. So right now we're at a very severe cyclonic storm, and that sort of falls in category 2 depending on the wind speeds for now. I think that's about all of the questions I have. Why does Gujarat get so many cyclones? Well, Gujarat actually does not get so many cyclones. The last cyclone to have actually made landfall at Gujarat is it was in 1998. And that didn't have a name. It did kill 10,000 people. That was really terrible, but there has been no such intense cyclone over Gujarat so far. Will the cyclone affect any part of India? Well, yeah, it is currently affecting Gujarat along the coast. Even though it's not making landfall there, it is causing a lot of excess rain. And it's so far, the current projected movement is it's moving northwest, which means it's moving away from India. We're just going to have to wait to see another few hours. Maybe by nightfall, we'll get a much better update on this. That's all the time we have for questions today. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Sandhya Ramesh. I can be reached on Twitter at Sandy Grains. You can also tweet to the Print Science handle, which is at